Good morning, everybody. Here we are on the, what is this? This is Friday. Is this the 17th? Let's see, 13, 14, 15, 16. Yeah, today's the 17th. There you go. So, we're in for some rain and we have got cooler weather and it's nice to enjoy. We're continuing to read through Jeremiah, and we're at the part now, it's close to the end. We have one more day of Jeremiah, so he's at the point where he's been under house arrest and jailed a lot and all that sort of stuff. But before that happens, while he's still free, he's told to bring in the family of Jonadab. And it's an interesting family because Jonadab, their ancestor, had told them not to drink wine, not to build houses, not to plant crops. So I assume they must be shepherds, and they were to travel the land, to stay as nomads. And and his descendants did it. They didn't drink wine, they didn't build houses, they didn't plant crops. And so they honored their ancestor. When you stop and think about it, the ancestor had no hold over them. We could understand it maybe while he was alive that they obeyed him. It could have been a thing of respect. It could have been a thing of fear. There could have been repercussions if they didn't follow his instructions. But when he's dead and there's no repercussions, he can't come from the grave and punish them for not doing what he told them to do. They could have. It was well within their power to make the decision to drink wine, to build houses, and to plant crops like everybody else. But they didn't. They honored him. And God wanted to point this out to them, because here was a family that could manage to obey the instructions of this dead forefather, and yet Judah could not follow the instructions of the living God. Now, our God doesn't reign from a position of fear. People could look through I'm not going to go much into it, but people look at everything that's going on through the prophets, and they see him as a God who spanks, as a God who punishes, a God who whips, a God who destroys and kills, and it's not. That's all I can say. He's not, and you have to read the whole thing to understand. So. But here he is, a God who enters into relationship with a promise of blessings, a promise to protect, a promise to build up, a promise of increase, a promise of prosperity. This is what he wants to bring. This is what he wants to bring. He wants to bring blessing to his people. And were the people blessed? Was Jonadab's family blessed because they didn't plant crops? Because they didn't drink wine? It doesn't sound like there was much benefit to it, although they were rules to live by. But with our Father, it's what he's put in place is for our benefit, for our increase, for our building up. So if he doesn't reign from a place of fear, do what I say, I'm going to strike you with a lightning bolt. Although that's the way that the church has often presented him, and still presents him to today. People use the threat of hell to try to scare people into a relationship, but that's bullying, and that is you can't. How can you love that? How can you love that? And yet everything is supposed to be by the motivation of love. Everything is by the fear. There's no fear in love, because fear says that there's punishment, and there's no punishment. There's no fear in love. There is a consequence at the end of time, that all the enemies of God, those who fought against him, those who denied him, those who refused to honor him, there's a place reserved for them. So it's not a denial of hell whatsoever. But today, in this day, we honor him we love him. We walk with him because we love him. We walk with him not out of fear, but out of honor. We listen to his instructions. We obey his instructions, not because we're afraid that bad things are going to happen, but because we know good things are going to happen when we do. Good things happen when we follow the instructions of the Lord, because they are supposed to be. He is a God who rewards. It's as simple as that. He is the God who rewards. So we need to check our motivation, because we can't draw into the Holy of Holies. We can't draw into his heart. We can't draw in deeper into the more of our God, unless we're in a position of love, a position of honoring. We obey out of honor. We honor him because of who he is, because of who he is and what he does. Who he is and what he does, we honor him, not out of fear, not out of fear. We got to work this out as a church. We really do. You be blessed today. Be encouraged. Draw into him and honor him today with all your heart, all your mind, with all your soul, with all your strength. Looking forward to tonight. God bless.